All right, well, I'm finished sanding the body filler. It's nice and flat. I went ahead and hit it with the prep spray. I waited about 10 minutes before you apply any primer because you know, scuffing down the paint, it does tend to absorb a little bit of the prep spray, so you do want to let that dry about 10-15 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the self-etch primer, and the reason I'm going to apply this is because we have a lot of bare metal showing. A little bit of surface rust was here, and this has maximum adhesion and rust corrosion resistance. So that's why you want to use a self-etching primer. It is usually the first step in priming when you do have bare metal exposed. So I'm going to shoot a quick coat of this. It doesn't have to be real heavy, just enough to cover, because you're going to lay the filler primer over top of that. And you do not need to sand this, of course, unless you get a run. So just put a light coat of this. You certainly want to have a well-ventilated area whenever spraying. Now what I'm going to do is hit this with the Dupli filler primer. And what this is going to do, as I mentioned before, it's going to fill in any minor imperfections that you didn't get with the body filler, and it's also going to fill in any of the little sanding scratches that happens, you know, when you do sand the filler. So this stuff you are going to want to put on pretty heavy, and basically you're just going to want to spray it on, wet sand it with 600 grit paper, spray it on again, wet sand, spray, wet sand until all of your scratches and imperfections are gone. It's a high build primer, and you're just going to want to keep on building it up until your surface is smooth as glass. Well, not smooth as glass, because you don't want your you want your paint to stick to it, but you're going to want the surface as smooth as possible, because the smoother the surface, the better your paint job's going to turn out. So give this a good coat, let it dry for about 20 minutes, come back, give it another good coat, and then I'll come back and wet sand it with the 600 grit sandpaper and see what it looks like.